This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about the newest software in the market, the Haval H6 SUV. We check out its styling, performance, practicality, and of course evaluate it against the likes of the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and the Nissan X-Trail. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV. Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev Extra. My name is Big Boy Trev. It's all about the news and reviews from across the world. Our first item comes from Japan, where Toyota have just unveiled the 2025 4Runner SUV. And my, doesn't it look stunning? For those not acquainted with the 4Runner, it's available in the grey market for years, dubbed the Toyota 4Runner SSX, based on the Hilux chassis. Now, fast forward to 2024, the 6th generation of the 4Runner will ride on Toyota's TGNAF platform, which is also found on the LC300 and the Toyota Prado. Now, as ever, this will be a body-on-frame beast and should slot underneath the LC300 and the Prado. Now, the 4Runner will share its powertrains with the all-new Tacoma pickup, which, by the way, has a 2.4-litre turbocharged cylinder engine as base with the hybrid option. Now, in the base Tacoma, this engine produces 220 horsepower, while most models will get bumped to 278 horsepower. Now, the hybrid option setup is called the Hybrid iForce Max engine, will be bumped to 326 because of the combination of the engine and the electric motor. Now, unfortunately, Toyota will not bring this particular vehicle to Kenya. It's only restricted to the United States and left-hand car markets, and we surely hope that Toyota will rethink their decision and bring it to emerging markets like Kenya. So stay with Cars with Big Boy Trev for more details about the next generation of the 4Runner SUV. Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev social media feedback segment. We give you the opportunity to speak about what you've seen on the show and how we can improve CBBT. Now, we go to Facebook page, and Moses Gishuki says, that is one pickup nimeona is a good fuel efficient machine that is too good. Asante sana. I can tell you the Nissan Navara is quite fuel efficient. Our next person is Julia Mwangi, and she says, this was an exciting episode, breaking down several technological advancements with the cars, and I've seen interesting things about two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Well, asante sana, Julia, that's what we do. We try and demystify all these new technologies about cars, and I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. And of course, we have another gentleman called Ruben Gitau, and he says that is not only a car, but a machine. Nissan has really invested in this Pro 4X, and it's worth the money. Well, thank you so much, Ruben, for watching and tuning in. So if you have any questions, comments, or queries, do not hesitate to reach us out on our social media handles below, and we'll give you feedback next week. This is your show, and we love your feedback. We do this because we love giving and creating car content that is relevant to the Kenyan market. So stay tuned to Cars with Big Boy Trev. Up next, it's a review of the Haval H6 SUV. Enjoy. In our ongoing series of determining the best value software in the market, we take a closer look at the all-new Haval H6. Question is, will it manage to fight it out with the likes of the Toyota RAV4 and the Nissan X-Trail? Let's find out.
Now, this is the key to Haval's brand new SUV, the H6. With prices starting at Kenya shillings 6.8 million, we reckon it will give you absolute value for money. We take a look at the design phase of this particular vehicle, and the first thing you do note is the design. My oh my, these Chinese guys have outdone themselves. Look at that grille. This is called the Feng Shui grille. It's Chinese, and they have a philosophy in the Haval design department. East meeting West. So the whole design is actually influenced by European and Asian design. So that honeycomb floating design, coupled with this LED matrix headlamps. This one looks exactly from a German brand that you probably know. Coupled with the daytime running lights, gives this car some je ne sais quoi. That is what I mean by je ne sais quoi. You can't tell, but it's something about it. That thing, it's there on this design of the Haval. Obviously, right below over there, we do have tonal black finish on the foreground, which are LEDs as well, and of course the vents. And at the bottom of the lip of the bumper, there is a black cladding, just to know that this car actually can do some off-roading. The clamshell bonnet is very well designed. You can see the edgy design. The raked windscreen gives this car good aero efficiency, meaning fuel consumption will be low because there is a path of least resistance across the vehicle all the way to the back. Let's move to the side and see how this particular vehicle has been designed. So as you take a look at the side profile as well, you can see the black cladding that I was talking about that goes underneath the bumper. Now runs all the way through the wheel arch, the door seal, all the way to the back. Again, showing that this car can do a bit of off-roading because it's got all-wheel drive system in this particular vehicle, which we're going to test out much later. I love the fact that they've actually introduced 18-inch rims, diamond cut, and they're destined Hankook rubber. So these tires are all-terrain, so you can't do too much off-roading, but has good sound insulation, very quiet, and of course, tires also help in aero efficiency. Now, wheel arch as well, subtly designed. You can see this hip line that runs from the headlamp all the way to the lower hip line, all the way to the back, giving this car a hit on it. It feels like it's a premium car. They've thought about symmetry, which is very important. Again, as you move towards the center, you do have these chrome strips that run across the window sills all the way back to the rear side of the vehicle and runs across. Then on the doors, you do have this particular housing, the mirror housing, side repeater lamps, piano black finish, and the camera for the 360 degree, which comes as standard in this Haval. Chrome extras on the door sills as well, giving this car a premium look and feel. And at the back, you can see the ropeline tapered all the way to the back, and it feels with the rear spoiler. Now let's move to the back and see the design of the Haval. So guys, you move to the back, and the first thing you do notice is the design, the coupe-like design of this rear segment of this particular Haval H6. It's got a slanting roof line, although inside it still looks very spacious, but the roof is slanting and it's infused with this rear diffuser spoiler. Again, that stopping light as well, but the highlight of this particular rear part is this long-running LED bar that runs all the way. So it's a design that is actually corresponding with a lot of German vehicles on the road, and of course you have this signature turn signal, and of course this reflector surface. Again, je ne sais quoi. Haval have thought about everything, making this car look very premium and very tasty in terms of eye candy, which is very important. Now the letters of Haval emblazoned on this panel. There's a chrome strip around across below the number plate area, and of course at the lower part you do have a color-coded bumper. The darker part meaning that this car can do a little bit of off-roading. So it's time for us to check out the interior and see what the Haval is made of. So guys, you've seen from the walk around the design perspective of this Haval H6. Its premium look and design is basically East meets West, Asia meets Europe. And of course, the designers have done a lot to ensure that this car looks premium. But the question is, how good is the interior? We step inside, and the first thing that just takes your eyes off this particular vehicle is the dashboard. This dashboard has a sort of a two-layered design. So the top part, which has soft plastic, which actually makes it very premium. In between the two parts, there is a slat. That slat runs with a silver. On the lower one has a silver lining that runs across from the passenger side to the driver's side, and of course, in between, you have the vents, which are infused, and they're all piano black finish and chrome trim. Literally, these guys have actually decided to make this car very premium. I can tell you, if you close your eyes and touch the surface, you may think you're driving one of the big three German vehicles. Again, stitched leather, all this is supposed to be visual so that you know that this particular vehicle is very premium. But for me, the highlight is this center console. The masterpiece is this massive 12.3-inch multicolor display, and it is full HD. It is basically even sharper than a Mac. A Mac is a machine that you edit stuff, the videos that you see. And actually, it houses quite a number of things. The auxiliary things that are controlling in this particular vehicle include the climate control, which is actually multi-zone, because the passenger can control their own temperature, the driver and the rear people can also have their own temperature settings, and they can enjoy this car as they traverse the beautiful country of Kenya. We know Kenyans love road trips, and this H6 might be the car for your family. Sound system, amazing. 10-speaker JBL audio. I can tell you the sound is crazy. Subwoofer underneath the dashboard. You've got tweeters, you've got mid-range of the doors, and at the back, like it's a Dolby experience, literally. I'm telling you the truth. Of course, you also have other functionalities. You can stream your music via either Spotify. You can download apps there. You can stream via Bluetooth or USB if you have a USB a device, or we call them a flash, a Kenyan term. But also, it has a capacity to support Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly. No more cables. This car, you just bring it in, select the functionality, and you're able to use that for navigation purposes, because Android Auto and Apple CarPlay basically allows you to transmit your phone to the screen, meaning you don't have to fiddle with your phone to either read messages, respond to emails, or even just navigate. You can use the local native maps or for the car, so that you're able to traverse this country quite easily. Not only that, you are able to control certain settings of the car, including the gearbox settings. So for your performance, so your sport, dynamic, or eco, you're able to toggle that. This car has all-wheel drive system as well, then you're able to toggle through the different settings because the distribution of power is actually 50-50, but you can toggle through depending on the surface, be it rat, mud, sand, or snow. You don't have snow, but I mean, this car comes from a place where there's plenty of snow. So this is an option of that. And then also you're able to do the different auxiliary settings. Mood lighting is also standard in this particular vehicle. Able to adjust even how the doors unlock. You want only the driver door to unlock when you're coming in. You want to have the power tailgate to open at wheel. It's entirely up to you. So you can specify and make this car your own as you try and sample the different gadgets in the car. You also have an option of 5G connectivity because this is China, man. China don't play. So connectivity is a hotspot that you can hotspot everyone in the car and they can be able to be on their devices as you drive the beautiful country of Kenya. Now, obviously, right below it, we do have a section. Now, this center console is infused. It's got an obtuse design. Obtuse. I remember my mathematics. My teacher would be very happy. There are actually quite a number of buttons here that allows you to have easy access to the system instead of fiddling through it. You do have switching off your climate control. You do have your demisting or defogging at the back, hazard, and of course, park assist and your reverse camera. Because remember, this particular vehicle has 360-degree camera. It is amazing. I will show you how it works later on. Now, right below, you do have a space here. You can actually charge your device. You have a wireless charging pad. And of course, on both sides of the dashboard, you do have 2 USB slots and one cigarette lighter type of charger. You can charge your other devices. Then you move to the gearbox console. It's piano black finish. I like the trim looks very good and neat. You have 2 cup holders, then a space you can put your key, and the rotary gearbox. This is so dope. It's got this crystal-like design, crystalline sort of finish. It looks very, very bougie, as you've seen in other German brands. You do have electronic park brake and auto hold. Auto hold basically allows you to not rest your foot on the brake while in traffic. So it helps you to relax your foot. So you're able to have a good time in this particular Haval. Obviously, you do have a center console. Just press C, you can hide your devices, you can hide your valuables inside there as you maybe go out in the supermarket or whatever. Now, we move to the instrument binnacle. There's none here, but what is in place is another high-res 10.25-inch multicolor display also that also tells you what the vehicle is doing at any given time. So from your speed perspective, from the engine revolution, and you're able to change the different settings because there's sport, there's eco, you can adapt it to your taste needs. But not only that, because this car has adaptive everything, adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist. The graphic is in the middle, so it will tell you if you're drifting off-road because this particular vehicle has 2 stereo cameras right here underneath this windscreen. So they actually measure the markings on the road and tell the system to keep you in place. And if the system is on and you sort of dip, it will vibrate to put you back. It'll actually pull you back into the middle so that you remain safe while in the car. Then also on the left-hand side, you have also your fuel range, your temperature, and your vitals, your check engines, your battery, and anybody who's not wearing the safety belt, it will alert you. And of course, if you get too close to a car, it will warn you that you're either overspeeding or you're getting too close to the car ahead. So this car literally is a safety masterpiece. Now, the steering wheel as well, fantastic. I love it. 3-spoke Haval designs, got satellite buttons. On the left-hand side, everything to do with this big, massive infotainment system. On the right-hand side, everything to do with adaptive cruise control and managing this instrument binnacle, which is fully digital in HD. Wow, this car, amazing. This seat has a 6-way adjustment. So basically, you can adjust your seat to your taste and preference. I'm 6'1", a big boy with a big kitambi, but I'm able to sit quite comfortably in this particular vehicle. So if you're a dad and you have a kitambi, then perhaps the Haval is a car for you. You do have paddle shifters because this is a 7-speed DSG, dual clutch transmission. 7, so you're able to toggle through as you feel the power of the 150 kilowatt engine that is up front there. And of course, you're able to adjust the steering wheel as well, tilt and telescopic for your taste and preference. Now it's time for me to move to the back and see how comfortable the rear passengers would feel in this Haval. So guys, moving over to the back seat, and the first thing I do note is the amount of space. Because the body is designed in an upright manner, there's illusion of space. And of course, to make it even better, there's this full-length sunroof that actually runs all the way to the back passengers, so they can enjoy our beautiful country of Kenya quite easily. And of course, it brings in light into the cabin, so the cabin is airy and spacious. And obviously, as you can see, I'm 6'1". This seat has been set to my position. I've not moved it, but I'm just showing you how much space. So legroom is fantastic. Headroom is even good, even with this particular sunroof. And of course, the vehicle is very, very comfortable. The seats are sculpted so you're able to enjoy. You've got headrests on all the 3 passengers. And if you're not using the rear passenger, the center console, then you're able to pull this down, reveal the armrest with 2 cup holders, and you're able to relax quite easily in this particular Haval H6. Safety is critical in this particular vehicle. You have 3-point seat belts, as you can see here. Even the middle person has safety belts, and of course Isofix anchors. If you have a baby, you can secure the child seat quite easily while in this particular Haval. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the 6 airbags that run across, including the curtain airbags, to protect you and your family from harm's way. I think it's critically important to have that safety aspect in every single car. And in terms of amenities, obviously you do have airline style pockets. You can actually store your iPad right here. You do have vents for the rear passengers, and of course USBs to charge your devices. The rear people can actually charge the devices without disturbing you at the front. Of course, you do have armrests everywhere. You big cup holders and bottle holders on the doors, and speakers as well. I'm telling you, this car is so designed. I don't like the fact that the piano finish on the doors are good. This thing is premium. They are not playing. I can tell you, even the stitched leather, the contrasting is good. These guys have done themselves. But let's find out how big the boot is of this particular Haval H6. Until it has to offer, let's see what this load area of this particular Haval is. So as you touch the soft opening, it reveals a massive boot space, close to 500 liters of carrying capacity. That means about 5 large suitcases. You can carry your gunias, your groceries, anything you might want. And even when you put the seats down, the rear seats can actually have close to 700. So plenty of space to pack your stuff. And the one thing I do love is the fact that the floor is flat, so you're able to move stuff in and out of the Haval very easily. You have tie-down hooks to secure your items, and of course you have a tonneau cover to prevent prying eyes when looking inside this particular cabin. Also, you have a 12-port charging socket as well to ensure that if you're carrying a fridge, you're able to be quite easy to use your devices when you're camping or doing some model like a safari rally, which is coming soon. Again, plenty of stuff here, but it is mostly important to find out what the carrying capacity is. This particular vehicle can carry about 800 kilos if it is fully laden. But again, it's not a pickup, but again, it can just carry enough luggage for you and your family. But it's time for us to sample the power of this particular Haval H6 2-liter turbo, 200 horsepower. How does it feel on the road? Let's jump in and find out the power of this Haval. Now, I've said all that. It's time for us to feel the power of the car. And I'm just joining one of the highways around Nairobi. Driving experience. Driving on tarmac is a very important thing. For any customers looking at buying a proper SUV, 2 things. They are actually looking for performance. They're looking for style. They're looking for practicality. They're looking for safety. And all in this one car. So these SUVs are now been designed to offer customers the best of both worlds. So what does it have in terms of hardware? In terms of the engine, you do have a 2-liter turbo petrol with gasoline direct injection, and it produces 150 kilowatts or 200 horsepower and 320 newton meters of torque that is sent to the 4-wheels courtesy of a 7-speed DC-3 dual clutch transmission, which allows this car to accelerate from 0 to 100 in 6.2 seconds and a top speed of about 220 kilometers an hour, which is okay for an SUV of this size. And remember, the dual clutch transmission also allows you to explore that power and the torque delivery both on and off-road, and of course allows you to return a fuel economy figure of 8.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Sorry, I got my math wrong there. So it's not too bad for a combined cycle in the city. But if you want to get down and dirty with the performance, my foot is down and it feels so planted. Like it's got a lot of torque, 320 newton meters of torque. And I'm down on Raila Odinga Highway, formerly known as Mbagathi Way, and it feels sublime. The suspension is good, multi-link suspension system at the back. You also have telescopic shock absorbers that absorb all imperfections. On the higher grade, you might even find the adaptive dampers, but are not available in our market. Now, in terms of safety, this is where this car excels. This car has a mixture of active and passive safety features to ensure that you and your family remain safe. On the active front, apart from the usual electronic stability program, anti-lock braking system, which prevents wheel lock when you're avoiding an obstacle during braking, it's got the adaptive driving technologies. So, for example, you do have adaptive lane keep assist, which ensures that you remain on your lane. So it's got two stereoscopic cameras right here on the windscreen that measure the road ahead. So it checks the lines, ensures that you're in the middle. And with the aid of also a LiDAR, they call it LiDAR, it's a radar that measures the distance between you and the next car ahead, you're able to remain safe while in this particular car. If the car in front of you slows down, it ensures that the distance is maintained by slowing down the vehicle. You can also have adaptive cruise control where it measures the car in front of you as well and keeps the distance. If the vehicle is doing 60 kilometers an hour, the vehicle can follow at 60 kilometers an hour. If it can brake, it slows down until to a stop and go. Also, you do have this new technology called emergency autonomous braking. If something just happens to jump in front of you, the vehicle will sense and apply full brake pressure to ensure that you and your family remain safe. Cross traffic alert also standard in this particular vehicle, and all these gizmos just makes this car very, very safe. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the 6 airbags that comes as standard in this particular vehicle that are spread across the whole cabin, and of course our 5-star safety rating that has been certified the Australian National Car Assessment Program and the European National Car Assessment Program. So impact energy is dissipated away from the passenger cabin into the chassis to ensure that you and your family remain safe while in this Haval H6. So it's pretty safe and it's got a lot of features. I don't think there's any crossover SUV with this kind of technology, maybe apart from one that I know, and then it's a premium brand. So value for money, you do get it. But now it's time for us to go off-road and feel how this particular vehicle is in terms of its off-roading credentials. How good is it? Can it manage your rough area in Ushago or even Rongai or Kiserian? Nothing against people of Rongai and Kiserian. I love you all. You're my fans and you normally shoot in that area. So let's do some off-road section. Start with an off-road review. Yes, I'm in an area that is your typical urban jungle. When I say urban jungle, it's like your inner streets, your inner roads, and there's a little bit of bumpiness, and that's where the H6 is actually coming alive. So what does this car have in terms of off-road capability? Number one, the ground clearance, because we're in Kenya, and the people living in the Republic of Rongai, the ground clearance for this particular vehicle is about 200 millimeters, which is not too bad. It can give you actually good ground clearance, especially you're going to shags, because a lot of the areas that we go to, the shags are more so graded roads. They are sort of like a pavement, or if it's maram, it's not that bad, if you know what I mean. But if you come from counties like Kitengela, Ngong, where you need to have a car that has good off-road, then this particular car will excel quite well. Obviously, the suspension, you do have McPherson struts at the front, and at the rear, you do have multi-link rear suspension. It's a 5-link version because it allows you to do the following. Number one, it keeps the car planted at all given times. Number two, it aids in passenger comfort. Number three, it actually insulates the passengers from all the road imperfections that you feel while you're driving this Haval H6. The steering feels very direct. It's sharp. You can able to use it during low speed, and of course, when you drive on the highway, then this up it becomes a fantastic vehicle. In terms of what it can carry, the carrying capacity of this car, fully laden, is about 800 kilograms, which is good because this particular vehicle with this engine is more than sufficient to keep you propelled, you and your family. So luggage and people will be very comfortable in the H6. So this perhaps could be your next SUV. So guys, that has been the extreme review of this Haval H6 SUV. It's stylish, it's got plenty of technology, very premium, and of course gives you absolute value for money. But the biggest question still remains, how good is this car in this Kenyan market? We start with the pricing. Now, this particular vehicle is sold and serviced by Haval Kenya. They're found at Samira Park, Mombasa Road, and comes with a 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. But in case you're wondering the price, prices start from Kenya shillings 6.8 million all the way to 7.5, depending on the spec. So you have the luxury, super luxury, and of course the hybrid, which you're going to test out much later on Cars the Big Boy Trev. But the biggest question still remains, how is this car based? Because we live in a market where there's so much competition. So, who are the key rivals in the segment? You do have the Toyota RAV4, the Nissan X-Trail, the Honda CR-V, the Subaru Forester, the Mitsubishi Outlander, the Mazda CX-5 and CX-9, and of course many other brands that are available in the market. So do you reckon that this particular H6 has what it takes to defend the king of these crossovers? Tell us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back with the feedback next week. This is standing as this big boy Trev. Drive safe and be safe.